Thanks for checking out the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to see me play your deck, hang out with me in the amazing BoshNRoll community in Discord, access to my lists and sideboard guides before tournaments, book an individual coaching session, or just generally want to support what's going on here, check out the Patreon and YouTube membership options. For the finest Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, use code BoshNRoll for 10% off your order at coalesceapparel.shop. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. If you want to play what I'm playing, use my affiliate link to support the channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com and play any deck anytime on Magic Online with a cardhoarder.com loan account. Thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome to another BoshNRoll Legacy video. Today, at the request of Patreon subscriber CC Antman, I have brewed a deck around Glenn, the Voice of Calm. This is, of course, the Walking Dead crossover Secret Lair card. 1 white-blue, legendary creature, human advisor. Has Skulk, which means this creature can't be blocked by creatures with greater power, so it's got some light evasion. When Glenn deals combat damage to a player, draw cards equal to his power. And it's a base 1/3. This is an insanely powerful effect. I don't know if you were around at the time, but Edric, Spymaster of Trest, was a card that Legacy players were excited about for a little while. Spawned a bunch of kind of go-wide fish decks, where Edric is a blue-green version of this, but that's whenever a creature deals damage, you draw a card. So that encourages you to go wide. Glenn encourages you to go tall, because you draw cards equal to Glenn's power. I've played against this card in EDH, and the decks are pretty insane, because after blocks, because he's a 1-power creature, many things can't block him. Then after blocks, you pile on a bunch of pump spells like Giant Growth, Defiant Strike, Invigorate, whatever, and then it deals 8 and you draw 8, and all those pump spells replace themselves. However, I think we gotta approach it a little differently in Legacy, and the reason is, this is a 3 toughness creature for Lightning Bolt. This is a creature, period, for Swords to Plowshares. This is a sub 5 toughness creature for Fury. This is a blue creature for Red Blast. This is a legend for Caracas. You see what I'm getting at here? Glenn just dies to a stiff wind in Legacy. I am not willing to go all the way in on just those like crazy take 7, draw 7 turns with him. I think the responsible way to go is to tuck him into a shell that just naturally pumps him a little bit here and there. Which brings us to Bant Stoneblade. Noble Hierarch. This is something I knew I wanted to be doing alongside Glenn. Hierarch gives you Glenn on turn 2 and passively pumps his power without committing extra cards to it. Drawing 2 extra cards a turn is nothing to sneeze at. Worth noting, the Exalted trigger happens before blocks are declared, so Glenn will be a 2-power creature when it's time to block, which increases the number of things that can block him. But a 2/4 is a pretty big body in combat. And if your opponent's jump blocking, you're probably doing a good job. Stoneforge Mystic, one of the other passive ways to make Glenn better in Legacy is to put equipment on him that increases his power and toughness and helps protect him. Sword of Fire and Ice is the one I've gone with. Blue and red are the main colors in the format that I would like to avoid, mostly red. The white swords were not really good enough to put in the deck. And you don't, like, in a Legacy deck, you don't just get to play 5 equipment like you would in an EDH deck. You have to pick, like, the best 2 or 3. And I think Sword of Fire and Ice is the one I wanted to go with. Lets you connect through Delvers and Dragon's Rage Channelers and Furies and whatever, and start drawing tons of extra cards. You get the extra cards from the pump because Glenn's power will be bigger, and Sword of Fire and Ice draws cards itself. Caldra's also in the deck. We're unlikely to equip this to Glenn, but it could happen. This is more for those do or die, turn 2 Stoneforge, do you have the answer kind of games. Glenn is a big part of this deck. There are 3 copies of this. I could have played 1 and called it a Glenn deck and just like kind of just played a different deck, but I am pretty committed to the Glenn line, but the deck needs to be able to win without him, and Cauldron does that. In order to protect Glenn in the main deck, we have our Force of Wills, we have our Teferi. We can use our own Caracas to pick him up if he's about to be destroyed or exiled. And I've also gone with 3 copies of Blossoming Defense. This was the most efficient version of this effect. I wanted to both save Glenn and make him bigger. Blossoming Defense, +2/+2, and Hexproof for 1 green mana. Hard to argue with that. Vines of Vastwood is +4/+4, but you have to spend green to get the pump. There's a bunch of white versions of this effect, but they don't pump quite as well, or they cost 2 mana. And there's a lot of indestructible versions of this, but indestructible is not good enough in Legacy because Caracas, Swords of Plowshares, Solitude, etc. are all involved. This is just the most efficient version, guaranteed to save the creature and make it bigger at the same time. And out of respect for Caracas, because I really don't want the creature I built my deck around to just get bricked by my opponent's land drop, there's 4 Wasteland and Boseiju in the deck. The 4 Wasteland, of course, also help. We're just a Stoneforge Mystic tempo deck with our own acceleration and our own exciting ways to operate on low resources. Just being an aggressive Wasteland deck is where you want to be anyway. It also just naturally overlaps with the Caracas. We get all the good white removal, Swords of Plowshares, Prismatic Ending, because we're in that Bant wedge. And I had 1 flex slot in the main. I decided to go with Endurance. It was Vendilion Click for a while, but Endurance just does more against the format than Click does right now. Click still made it to the sideboard. That's still a great card against combo and control matchups. You basically never want to see it against something like Delver, where Endurance is great. And there's more Endurances in the sideboard, more Vendilion Click. There's lots of good stuff floating around over there. There's a lower to the ground version of this that I considered of just being straight blue-white, and then you have like Stifles and Spell Pierces in the main deck. But I really wanted Noble Hierarch, and that was the tiebreaker to dip into green. I think the blue-white tempo version would be cool. You probably fit Daze in that deck as well, and just really go for the throat, but that deck has a lot harder time getting its 3-drop into play and then connecting with it. I think this is the way to be, and let's see if all of this theory pays out. This is Bant Stoneforge featuring Glenn, Voice of Calm. Let's do it. I'm on the draw in round 1 with a Tundra Ponder Keep situation. There's no basic lands in this deck. There were in earlier versions, but I decided to just make the mana perfect in my 3-color deck that wanted 4 wastelands in it. We're going to be a little soft wasteland ourselves. I think I'm going to mulligan this. Oh yeah, rewarded. This hand's way better. I'm going to keep this and put Cauldron on the bottom. What do you got for me, opponent? Tundra Ponder. Jealous. That's the hand I mulliganed. Maybe this is the mirror match. That would be great. Teferi. Alright, Teferi gives me something exciting to do with the Noble Hierarch. I'm going to get Tropical Island. Let's do it. My opponent said in the chat, whoa, you might know this deck. Are you playing my deck? Swords to Plowshares Wasteland, you sicko. Oh my god. If this is my Sharkstill deck, and that's the only Wasteland in the deck, that was a great start. If this is Sharkstill, this Boseiju is going to be messed up, though. Lands keep coming. I was never really going to, like, get cheesed by that Wasteland. Okay, this Force of Will, probably something I'd rather just have in my hand than not, though I don't think I'm going to use it this game. My opponent said they love my channel, and it's what got them interested in Legacy. That feels so good. That's basically the nicest thing anyone could ever say to me. Probably don't want the Swords to Plowshares this game, but I'm not in a hurry to act here. Like, Noble Hierarch is the only thing I'd really want to do with 1 mana. Brainstorm in the end step. Yikes. Guess I'll keep one of these plows. And I'll get my Tropical Island again. Ooh, Wasteland. Do I want to play this game? Or do I want to resolve Teferi? I don't even know that I can resolve Teferi. I don't have any backup. I'm going to go for Teferi. Shark Typhoon is pretty good against Teferi. Oh no, am I getting counterspelled? Oh. I hope this Teferi resolves. Ooh, that's awkward. If my opponent had just let Teferi resolve, Shark Typhoon's not a spell. I was likely to just draw a card and then lose my Teferi to Shark Typhoon. I was trying to decide if I want to plus or minus Teferi if it resolves, and they gave that one to me for free. Cycling is not a spell. That's kind of the point. You can do it under Standstill, you can do it under Teferi. Ooh, double cycle Timeless Dragons. Let's draw that one of endurance right now. Snow plains in hand. One of endurance. This is not going great. Plus Teferi. I'm not going to use Boseiju here. I am going to Wasteland here. I'll at least make sure Prismatic Ending doesn't work. And I can Prismatic Ending myself. Add instant speed. If they make a dragon, I can just get rid of it. Didn't make a dragon. I smell a Shark Typhoon. Plus Teferi. Someday I'll find a threat. No Shark Typhoon, no dragon. What's going on over there? Expedition map. Okay, this is a slightly older list. That probably means Urza Saga's in the deck, which means I wish that I had saved my Wasteland. Yep, there it is. I'm just going to Boseiju this in response to the trigger, so it never even learns how to make mana. Okay, how about a Glen? Ugh. I have a force, but no blue card, and no 5 mana. Lots of creature removal. If they ever remember those dragons are in the graveyard, I have them covered. I can bounce a Standstill or an Urza Saga here. Teferi's back up to bounce range. Okay, cool. I can tempo that. Yeah! Here come that boy. I'd love to find a blue card or a Blossoming Defense. That's a blue card. Count it. Bang! Their hand is probably full of removal spells, which I will have to strongly consider how I want to interact with. Oh, just passing the turn. Didn't even replay the Urza Saga. What's going on over there? Glen has Skulk, so Shark Typhoon can't stop it. Oh, yeah. I'm dealing one and drawing one. We're just going in here. Time to Cascade Advantage. And Teferi is plussed. Not sure what's going on right now. They had the Saga, didn't replay it last turn. These Timeless Dragons have been chilling. I think they've, like, pretty clearly just forgotten about Timeless Dragon. Standstill. I guess that makes sense. I'm going to Force of Will this. I've already used my Boseiju, which is my clean answer to a Resolve Standstill. And Glen can just battle, but drawing all the cards in the world aren't going to get me out of that. Ooh. Stoneforge Mystic, very good. Very happy to see you. Do I want to Ponder first? I think so. Ponder using a Tundra. I'm going to shuffle this. I don't need any of that stuff. Ooh, this gives me an extra card. Let's go. Here he comes, Big Glen. Draw 2 cards. I still have a land drop for the turn. I can take out this Urza Saga. Looking good, tempo deck. I should leave Savannah up, actually, because that casts Prismatic Ending, Swords to Plowshares, or Blossoming Defense, all of which I'm interested in. And the Sword of Fire and Ice should end the game very quickly. Wow. Blossom EDs. Nice. I'm so excited this is working. That was bait for the Supreme Verdict. Here it comes. Took out Hierarch instead of Stoneforge. Must have another removal spell for Stoneforge. Okay. Just unloading all these removal spells that have been building up. Let me tell you about Sword of Fire and Ice. God, I'm going to get demonetized. This is pornography. In for 5, and I draw 3 cards. Missing on the land there kind of sucks, but whatever. I'm not greedy. Clean up, discard, Swords to Plowshares, Stoneforge Mystic, and I guess another Swords to Plowshares. I got all these Prismatic Endings that can answer the dragons much more cleanly. Sharks can't block this at all anymore because it has Pro Blue. Narset. I can Prismatic Ending that. Just saving my Force of Wills for real emergencies, like Swords to Plowshares. Olja. Force pitching Brainstorm. 2 cards in hand, one of them's Narset. Alright, the other is Ponder. Prismatic Ending the Narset. White, blue, green. And Mobile Hierarch, get that extra card, extra damage in. Deal 6 to you and draw 4. Found the Blossoming Defense. That's the card I was looking for. And I'm going to plus Teferi. And just go to clean up. Discard Stoneforge Mystic. And I guess Ponder. Don't know if I'll need this Endurance, but I would like an extra creature I can deploy. Narset's fine. Supreme Verdict is like the only thing I care about here. Prismatic Ending doesn't stabilize the board. Standstill. I don't care about that because you're dead. Resolves. I can bounce it with Teferi if I care. Okay. I don't draw cards. Or I draw one card because of Narset. And then... yeah, I don't know what that was. If they were trying to like bait out counter magic, but that doesn't work when you're dead. That was a great first game with this deck. Let's hope they all look like that. Against Sharkstill, I believe I do want the Batterskull in the deck. And Endurance is less important. I have a bunch of Wastelands for Hall of Heliod. I'm not super concerned about that. Spell Pierce and Vendilion Click both look good. They are Saga build. Serenity destroys my own Batterskull and Sword of Fire and Ice, but those, I have only 2 things that get destroyed by that. I'm going to back off of Swords to Plowshares as a tool. And Serenity, Spell Pierce, Vendilion Click. Is that where I want to be? Carpet of Flowers is good too, but they're not really denying my mana. I'm not super worried about that. There might be like 2 Wastelands in the deck. We've seen 1 for sure. Okay, until they show me something else, this is what I'm going to do. This hand is great. I'm going to keep it. Spell Pierce can fight over a turn 2 Standstill. And I can Wasteland a Saga, if that's something I want to do. A Ponder, Stoneforge. Yeah, everything about this hand is great. Tundra, pass. Okay, they just land go. Deal. That means I can... and I don't really care about the red source. I'm going to Ponder this turn. They can Red Blast this, and I don't even care. I have better cards to Red Blast than that. It's in the graveyard. Deal. And that's 1 less protection piece for this Spell Pierce that can tag a Planeswalker or something this turn. This is why I save the Wasteland. Cycling Timeless Dragon. Okay. Tundra is in your hand. There's Glenn. Shame. If I hit Volcanic Island instead of Urza Saga, they still make their next land drop and make all the constructs. So I'm going to just take out the Saga now. And I'm going to go for Stoneforge Mystic. Taps me out of the Spell Pierce, but they had multiple turns to cast a Planeswalker or Standstill and just didn't. And now Standstill doesn't work. I'm going to go for Kaldra. Just make them have the answer. And spend it. If I get something like Batterskull or Sword, they can do something else this turn. But Kaldra demands an answer. Magic Ending's fine. Ponder is good. I'm going to take a turn pondering. If I can Spell Pierce or Blossoming Defense to back up all these cards I'm trying to play, everything gets better. Just jamming blue spells into this Red Blast. Not interested. Timeless Dragon's in the graveyard. I have Teferi on curve to bounce it if they go for it. Bummer. Spell Pierce doesn't work here. Okay. I can find Boseiju or just not do that. I'm just going to shove Teferi into this. Go ahead, fill up your hand. I know how good this is, how good this feels. There's the Red Blast we knew about. Here's the Spell Pierce you didn't know about. I would like to just draw a card here. They have lots of things worth bouncing, including the Timeless Dragon that is visible. But at the same time, this is a deck with Red Blast and Prismatic Ending and Narset. I'd like to draw a card while I can. They have not seemed to remember Timeless Dragon exists yet in this match. There's the Prismatic Ending. Feeling good. Ponder. Off we go. I'm going to play Glenn with my protection spell up. I have multiple Blossoming Defenses. Time to put them to work. Yep. They learned their lesson from last game. Oh no. It's standstill time. I'm going to brainstorm in response to the standstill. See if I can find Boseiju. And get rid of Cauldra at least. Alright, fine. I'll shuffle away Cauldra, and I'm just going to cast Batterskull. Bang. Here's my card. They don't really have ways to exile Batterskull from the game. They can't get up to 5 with Prismatic Ending. They can remove the Germ over and over, but Batterskull can loop around. Map. Alright. Going for Saga. You're already did you make your land drop this turn? Yeah. Flooded Strand was already played this turn. Currency Converter. Uh-oh. That's the dangerous card. That's the one that is actually troublesome for me. If they're actually getting on board and attacking and stuff, this game gets a lot harder. Force of Will. Gonna ponder off of Tropical Island. This is not good. I kind of do want the Prismatic Ending for the Converter, but I don't want 2 Noble Hierarchs afterwards. Shuffled up the Prismatic Ending anyway. Too easy. Too easy, too free. Exile that Converter. Just making a Rogue in response. I think I would want more out of my Shark Typhoon than that. There's so much mana in play. But I'm happy with the exchange from this side. Here comes the first damage of the match that they've dealt to me. On turn 9 of game 2. Brainstorm, okay. They can use Expedition Map to shuffle the Brainstorm. And then find either, either Hall or Saga. Using Narset here. Missed on the Narset, good news. I'm going to pick up Batterskull. That's back in my hand. Ooh, Teferi. That's much worse with Narset in play. I will play Batterskull. Don't force a negation me, bro. Searching up Hall of Heliod. Bummer. That is I believe the correct one to get here over Urza Saga. Narset activation. Ponder. Chose to shuffle. Saga, okay. Tutored up the Hall, but then played Saga. Ugh. Don't like that. Attack Narset. I do need to draw cards to win this game, like between Glenn and all the other considerations. A 5/5 Shark. Blossoming Defense still beats that. +2/+2. Blammo. Do I want to get this Teferi into play where I'm medium confident it's going to resolve? I can bounce the Rogue. Alright, I'm going to go for Teferi. I don't like doing this in a situation where it doesn't draw a card, obviously, but I do like clearing the board. I guess if I was going to do that, I should have... No, because they would have gotten their block anyway. That doesn't matter. But we are over the hump of where we're probably not winning this game now. Though I am 1 mana away from hard casting Cauldra and then just going to town. It's a tough thing to answer. Where's the Plowshares? Blossoming Defense. Another one. Deck, how about that land? I have Teferi in play. They're floating mana. Oh. It is the land. It's not... I mean, I'm happy to see it, don't get me wrong. I was going to say it's not the land I wanted, which is like true in one way, because I'd rather wasteland the Hall. But I mean, I'm going to put my dancing shoes on here. You get a 1/1. I'm going to attack Narset with the trample creature because drawing cards is still important. And attack my opponent with my Vigilance lifelink creature. Correctly did not block. Trample would have killed it anyway. They did float white in my upkeep and then change their mind. I feel like they have a Swords of Plowshares and just forgot about Teferi. And we're getting Shark Typhoon. That is probably the right call over Standstill. In fact, almost certainly the right call. Went straight for Retrofitter without making a construct. I wonder if that was intentional or just a moto click. There's the Plow. I can just equip the Germ with Cauldra. Another Saga. Oh no, not more white mana. What is this, Timeless Dragon? Finally. Cycled on turn 2, arrived on turn 12. Patience. Ooh. This Brainstorm is tempting. It's also tempting just to equip the Germ and and get in there. We know there's a Shark Typhoon on top of the deck, so I'm probably losing to Fairy this turn. Might as well activate it. All right, let's go. I think I just have to tempo them out here with my 9/9 every word on it card. Backed up by Force of Will. Planecycled another dragon. Yeah, we're just in the whip our stuff onto the board and see who wins phase of the game. My life total is enormous. My creature is uninteractwithable for the most part. The race is on. Timeless Dragon can pick off to Fairy this turn. I can't interact with a flyer. Reach is like the one word I don't have on this card. They can also eternalize that second dragon and make a huge shark this turn. But Cauldra does not respect any of those things. It's going to keep cranking. You make another construct as well. Yep, there goes to Fairy. Knew that was happening. Oh, that's messed up. That was a really good draw. That's an uncounterable way to completely change combat math. Like if they make a construct and try to like double or triple block, I can completely change the amount of damage that's between me and my opponent. Yeah, they got 2 5/5s. They don't know that it's actually 1 4/4. Okay, is this lethal? Yes, it is. Beseiju. Let me tell you what 9 minus 4 is. It's bigger than 4. Bang! Wow. What's up, Beseiju? The clutch Beseiju messing up combat. 53 to -1, just like we drew it up when we came in. An amazing first match ever with Glenn Tempo. Undefeated. Let's go. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and every other format you'll see on this channel. They have multiple customizations so you can view your deck how you want. Text view, stacks, grid, custom grouping by type, subtype, color, light mode, dark mode. However you want to see your deck, they can provide it for you. My favorite feature is you can choose your set printing, make the deck look exactly how you want it to. The deck screen features expandable sections that show you what tokens your deck makes, your recent change history to the deck, stats about mana curve and opening hand distribution, mana cost distribution. You can deal out sample hands and even play test the deck. Island Ponder. You know I'm keeping this one. This site has everything. Follow me on Moxfield.com to keep up with decks I'm playing for the channel and what I'm up to in paper. I'll see you there. On the play in round number 2, I'm going to mulligan this no lander. I'll keep this 2-lander with Noble Hierarchs. I'm going to send the bonus Hierarch to the bottom and just cast this first one off of a Tropical Island. Let's do it. Tropical Island, Noble Hierarch. Mox Opal. Let's see where this goes. Is this the Tendrils variety or the Urza Saga variety? Starting to look like the Tendrils variety. Yep, for sure. We have the Epic Storm against us here. I guess it could be like Gamble or... Alright, it probably is Gamble. The Epic Storm. I don't think they're main decking Defense Grid right now. Yeah, this is probably some Scaponi business. Yeah, Epic Gamble with Bergie. Alrighty. And they know that they're clear to go because of their Defense Grid. I can just F6 and enjoy the show. I love this deck. It'll be on the channel soon. I have a Is It version coming up in the next like week or two. Oh no, Bergie. And more spells? We're not getting a turn. Other Lion's Eye Diamond, 2 red in the pool. Burning Wish, literally just Tendrils. Yeah! We got turn 1 with protection. Awesome. Ooh, a sweet art Tendrils of Agony. These look pretty good on Magic Online. Okay. There's that. Yeah, that's what this deck is built to do. It's the most... I think it's the most consistent... Or, nope. I was going to say it's the most consistent turn 1 deck, but that suits all spells. I think it's the most consistent, like, turn 1. It's the fastest Storm deck we have right now. Man, Defense Grid, kill you. Always impressed. Blue Blast, I'm interested in. Most of the deck is red. Flusterstorm, I'm interested in. Spell Pierce, I'm interested in. Vendilion Click. They do use their graveyard a bit. not like a lot. Normally they're not passing priority with Echo in the graveyard, making Endurance less good than I'd like it to be. Sword of Fire and Ice is not for this matchup. With only one equipment in the deck, I want to go down to 2 Stoneforges. Blossoming Defense, they're not going to be coming for my creatures. They're just going to kill me. This is 6 cards in, 7 out. What do I want to do about that? Force of Vigor, not bad. The problem with Force of Vigor and Serenity both is that my opponent can, as we just saw, defense grid and kill me immediately. And I can't Force of Vigor a defense grid on their turn without spending the 3 mana that I could just spend on the spell I want to use to interact. Could put Stoneforge Mystic. Oh wait, why is this already lined up correctly? What am I missing? I thought I had 7 coming in, or 7 coming out, 6 coming in, but apparently it's just already correct. Swords to Plowshares can hit Burgi. Prismatic Ending hits like everything. Swords to Plowshares could be a better card though. It only hits Burgi. Do I want the Endurances or the Surgicals? Or some... I'm going to bring in Force of Vigor and Surgical Extraction. One of each. I'm not excited about either, but they both add a dimension to the deck. That's not currently represented. This hand is dope. I'm going to keep it. Could still lose. If they have the exact same hand they had last game, they're still going to win because I have to Spell Pierce the grid and then they go nuts. But I guess without grid in play, Echoing would give me a chance to draw forces. So it's not quite as bad without grid in play. City of Traders, sequence the traders first so I can't even Spell Pierce the Chrome Mox if I wanted to. I don't know if I would make that play, but it was not available even if I wanted it. Spell Pierce this grid. That at least gives me some play. Ooh, and passing the turn. That's good news for me. Ooh, that's even better news. I have a juicy target for Prismatic Ending on a land that didn't cast any of the spells in my hand before that. City of Traders into new City of Traders. Shit. We're just dead anyway. I hope taking that Chrome Mox out of play matters a lot. And it looks like it has a good look at that. They just didn't do anything. I'm going to search up this Cauldra and begin the beats. Missing my land drop there hurts. Bummer. Red Mana's back. Lion's Eye Diamond. And what's the last card in your hand? Echo. Splat. And here's the Force of Will that spinning me into would have been great if Defense Grid wasn't in play. If they somehow whiff here, or don't kill me, my hand's actually really good. I can remove the Defense Grid, knock mana out from under them, and hold up counter magic. But that doesn't happen that often. Maybe they'll just go for a big relay. That's what I gotta hope for here. 6 mana in the pool. This could be a hard cast Echo, which sucks, because then Echo's just sitting in the graveyard for the next 7 cards. Oh yeah. Round and around we go. The original build of this deck did have multiple Null Rods in it, but when I rebuilt it into a Stoneforge Mystic deck, I took them out, and that's really how you beat a deck like this. It's Deafening Silence and Null Rod. It's not counterspells. Gamble, put Lion's Eye Diamond in the graveyard. That's probably not what they gambled for. I guess it could be. Oh, it probably is, actually. That casts the Echo, but they can Echo with Lotus Petal. I don't know. No, they probably echoed for some tutor that kills me. My hand has gotten much worse in the recent Echo. Chrome Mox pitching Burning Wish. Wow. Maybe they did go for that LED and they were planning to use LED to wish for tendrils. Yeah, that looks like what just happened based on how the game has progressed. There's now 2 Burning Wishes exiled under Chrome Moxen. Mox Opal, another one, Floating Red, another Opal, another red, Queen Bee, oh no. They just shuffled away my Caracas as well. I have Blue Blast that can target that thing. Overmaster, yikes. 2 cards left. Are they good? Any tutor does it because of the Lion's Eye Diamond. Oh, we're just echoing again. Is that all 4 of them? No, it's 3 of them, and 1 of them was cast from hand, so this is the 4th draw 7 of the turn. And now with Burgi in play, everything is so much more powerful than without Birgi in play. It's like the 5th or 6th Mox Opal of the turn. Harnfell. It's really hard to win against a Harnfell. They're about to see 10 more cards if they want all of them. 5 cards in hand, discarded 1, discard another. Please don't kill me yet. Another Mox Opal and another Birgi. Still not dead. Galvanic Relay. Well, they can exile most of their deck and play it next turn. If this last card or last flip doesn't actually kill me now. And it doesn't. They could put a second defense grid into play and dump out a bunch of mana and then relay for their whole deck. Or damn near their whole deck, actually. 20, 21, 22, 23. They could Echoing Truth their own Mox Opal to build Storm. Targeting my Miss Stoneforge, sure. That was not making a huge impact on this game. Second grid. 3, 24, 25. Yeah, even if they get super reckless here, they can't actually exile their whole deck and deck themselves, which is what I was hoping for. Yeah, put all those Burning Wishes. Yeah, that gamble earlier, losing the LED, that was almost certainly what they wished for. Okay, cards going into exile. What do I do with my turn that I was not expecting to get? 2 defense grids, so going after one of them doesn't matter. We've got Birgi, LED, Jessica's Will, Burning Wish. Yeah, the Burning Wish is enough. I lost track of the cards that I had access to, and I don't have Blue Blast in this version of the hand. I guess I should Brainstorm. I could just Prismatic Ending the Birgi, but I'm going to Brainstorm. Should have Prismatic Ending the Birgi. Okay. We are very, very dead, and I guess I'll give them the opportunity to mess up. Like, if they get too reckless, they could deck themselves or, like, sequence this wrong. I don't know how, but go ahead. Discarded Dahorn immediately. 1 card left in the deck. Gamble is, like, not good here. It's just, like, Entomb the last card in your deck. Wish. Yeah, this should win easily. They would have to, like, get the last card out of their deck somehow and then cast Overmaster like a fool. I'll play to my outs. Remember that opening hand? It had like Spell Pierce, Stoneforge, Mystic, Flusterstorm, Blue Blast, lands to cast it, and I just died on turn 2. Or I guess it was turn 3. Gross. That second defense grid was so good. There we go. All right. Absolutely destroyed by the epic gamble. It's made to chew up decks like this, and that's what just happened. On to the next round. You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7 Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. 7 Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7 Factor, or maybe join their team, contact them through their website at 7factor.io. And don't forget to subscribe to 7 Factor's YouTube for every episode of Dev Better. I'm on the play with a bit of a tempo deck problem, where I'm not really doing what my deck wants to do, but the hand is also, like, fine. I'm going to keep. I have Forest Blue card, 3 lands, and Wasteland, and Swords of Plowshares. Like, I have interaction for almost anything that I could be up against here. Who's this? Elves? Forest go. Why? Who does that? What are we doing here? Underpass. Forest go. Oh. Is this lands? Are we getting crop rotated? Oh. There's some, like, Minsk and Boo pile. I don't know what's going on right now. Forest, Mountain, go. Did somebody accidentally join Legacy with their draft deck? Ponder. Another Plow and Sophie. I'm going to shuffle this. And I will fetch land and pass. I didn't want to just drop Teferi into this because I'm not really sure what it is. And if it's just like a Red Blast you. Rule Red Blast hate. Oh, Jund. Grandfather Jund? Just Bloodbraid Elf coming my way next. I don't know what's going on right now. I'm going to Wasteland as I can. It did not float mana. What does that mean? Does it mean anything? I'm going to get Tropical Island and play Noble Hierarch. Start flushing out these lightning bolts. No lightning bolt. Lotus Petal. Oh, we're a storm deck? What the shit? What is happening? Oh, is this one of those like Turbo Minsk and Boo decks? I don't even know. I have no idea what's going on. I'm gonna Prismatic Ending the Lotus Petal. And I'm just gonna attack for one. I could play Teferi, but Teferi's still my only blue card for Force, and my opponent's up to something. I could have also just not attacked or Prismatic Ending and held up Hardcast Force of Will. Uh-oh. Party time. Ruby Medallion. I'm not going to fight over that. Barry can bounce that. Cool. A little value off your Ruby Medallion from Basic Forest. Big fan. Gotta suspect Veil of Summer out of this deck, right? Like, why are you green in your Ruby Storm deck? What green card does a Storm deck want? Could just lose here. It could happen. Desperate Ritual. Storm is getting up there. Lion's Eye Diamond, please go for an Echo. Please go for an Echo. Go all in on something here. Fast and Flames. Force of Will doesn't stop that one. I'm gonna have to let this go. Working their way back up. Am I gonna get Grape Chat? Come the Manamorphoses. They're back up to 5 cards in hand. Grape Shot only halfway to lethal, if that is the plan. They actually have enough mana here to Burning Wish. I counter it. Flashback, Pass in Flames, and Burning Wish again. Burning Inquiry. Okay. Lost my Force of Will. They lost their Veil of Summer, so my Force wasn't working anyway. Okay. Guess I will keep representing Force of Will. It's possible that more Burning Inquiries are coming this turn. Lost both of my equipment. Sword and Cauldron are both in the graveyard right now. Goblin Lore and Burning Inquiry both in this deck. Crazy. There's a Burning Wish. And they floated black. We're very, very deceased. Okay. Cool. I did not get anything going. That's the tempo problem that I mentioned when I kept the hand. Just not applying any pressure, not drawing any cards, and just died. Let's see that plan from last round again. This is a graveyard deck. We saw the Past in Flames. I definitely want the Endurance. Probably want the Surgicals. 11 cards coming in. That's a lot of cards. Sort of Fire and Ice. Shave on the Stoneforges. Got the Plows. This deck could juke me and cast Minsk and Boo, which I would respect a lot if they do that. Simply shaving on the creatures, and land actually seems really important. Maybe I can shave a Wasteland in this matchup. They showed me a bunch of basics. Yeah, this looks presentable to me. Let's do it. On the play, this is not what I want. I'm gonna mulligan. I don't want this either. Uh-oh, I think we're going to 5. Yeah, I can't keep this hand. I will keep this hand. I'll get rid of Wasteland and the second Force of Will. And let's start with a Ponder. I think I want to get green. That lets me find Noble Hierarch as a payoff for Ponder. Okay. I will put Spell Pierce on top of my deck with the 2 lands under it. Land go for my opponent. I'm just going to land go them back. With that other land on top of my deck, I'll just draw through it and hold up Spell Pierce plus Force blue card. And then when I don't know what's on top of my deck anymore, I'll Rainstorm. Another matchup where a Collector Oof or Deafening Silence would go a long way. Maybe I should have some of those. Could have Spell Pierced that, but I'm not going to. They're still holding up Veil of Summer. This is not a card that I want to get smeared by. They did miss their land drop. They were just playing out artifacts to avoid going to discard. Which means their hand is full of spells. I don't like that. But I do like if they have to play awkward and hang out artifacts. Drew a land. Boring. We're making moves. Romux. Pitching Goblin Lore. Alright, Spell Pierce. It's probably not going to be a player this turn. Teething Song, my goodness. Okay, Spell Pierce is live. They could pay for it with Lion's Eye Diamond, but then you don't have a hand. They could Veil of Summer, and I'll force the Veil. It's not pretty, but I think it's right. Force the Veil of Summer. And then Seething Song gets Spell Pierced. If there's an Echo of Eons in their hand, they could still win this turn. Or still do something this turn. Alright, we survived the first wave. Uh-oh. My hand is not good, though. I really needed that Brainstorm to make this game happen, but ended up having to use it to just be alive. Just land go. Ooh, good one, good one, good one. This is Graveyard Hate and a threat. If they can go off without using their graveyard, my hand might not matter at all. We'll see how this goes. Rite of Flame. I could act now and make their mana slightly worse, but I don't think that's the choke point. Fish. They're going to get Minskin Boo? What do you wish for here? I hope it's Past in Flames. Past in Flames. Past in Flames. Discarded Empty the Warrens. They're casting something out of the sideboard. Yeah! We get Savannah and Tundra and Endurance, my opponent. Bang! Good shit. We're in this game. I'll choose your graveyard. Please. Past in Flames resolves. And then I can Surgical Extract Past in Flames, and then they can't do that anymore, which seems to be pretty important to their deck. Ooh, big T. T money. Ooh, fetching. Is there a Dryad Arbor? Are you blocking? Nope. Okay. I guess I should have Teferi'd pre-combat, because if I draw Noble Hierarch, I just missed a damage. I'm bouncing this Chrome Mox. Prismatic Ending. Your hand is Chrome Mox. Let's go. Now Prismatic Ending can take out Ruby Medallion on their turn. Mid combo, if it has to. They just draw go. I'm also draw going, unfortunately. I'm going to stop playing lands, though. I have 5. I'm representing Force of Will. Keeping one back makes my next Brainstorm better. With a Past in Flames just floating in the graveyard, I'm actually pretty excited about this Surgical Extraction. Wasteland. Don't know what they're doing with blue mana. I'm going to take out the Volcanic Island. Anything I can do to deny any interaction here, or any resource, is good for me. Fetching in the end step. At 5 life, 2 turn clock. Uh-oh. Mana's being spent. Manamorphose. Hopefully that's a YOLO. Emergency cycle. Teferi can draw a card this coming turn. But I might just plus anyway. I kind of like being able to Prismatic Ending. Uh-oh. Did we find a medium-sized Empty the Warrens? Or a big Seething Song? I'm going to extract Past in Flames in response to this Seething Song. Get a feel for what's going on over there. Show me your deck. Burning Wish, and there is Past in Flames. Okay. Oh, you're an Eruth deck. That's cool. Respect, that's what the blue mana is about. 4 Veils, as expected. 3 Ruby Medallions. Oh, I should have read that off of the Burning Inquiries and Goblin Wars. Eruth, yeah. I've played enough of those. Should have ID'd it. Okay, they will have 6 mana here with which to empty the Warrens for a large number. Batterskull's not in my deck. I don't have Sweepers in my deck. This might be hard to go wide around. But the Storm would have just been bigger if I left the Past in Flames in there. Doesn't actually solve any problems. 14 Goblins. Can exile one of them in the end step and then bounce one with Teferi. How do I actually win this game? Batterskull would stabilize this, but that's not a card in my deck. I guess I'll take one out now with Prismatic Ending while I can. Trample over it with Cauldra is an option. Yep. I'm going to play Stoneforge Mystic first, so I don't accidentally draw the Cauldra off of Teferi. Make sure I get my money here. Bounce one of these. Noble Hierarch, get in there. And the Noble Hierarch is actually huge on the Cauldra. Yeah, they have to figure out how many goblins they can attack with to push damage without dying to Cauldra. If they don't attack, I'm going to win eventually. I can block 2 of these, take 10, and then you're dead. Probably should have played this land. That gives me draw a land as a way to cast Cauldron in case they draw it out to Stoneforge. Okay, they decided on attacking. Oh wait, how many of these are attacking Teferi? I'm not going to block one that's attacking Teferi. It doesn't matter. A bunch of them are attacking Teferi, and then a bunch are attacking me. Yeah, I only care about my life total. Teferi can die. Wow, Teferi doesn't matter at all. I think that was a questionable decision. Ooh, that's fun. A surprise bonus Point of Exalted. They left back 2 blockers. Seemed like such a good idea at the time. Bang! Take 5. 7 points of trample coming in at your 2/2s. Or your 2 1/1s. Did we do it? Okay. Now that I know Empty the Warrens, we saw one in the main deck and one in the Wish board. Batterskull can stabilize extremely well against Empty. Yeah, I'll bring Batterskull in and cut another Wasteland. Is that where I want to go? And Wasteland does actually tap to cast spells in this deck, which generally you cut Wasteland when that's not true. Maybe Teferi's medium, but it is a blue card. I think it's Prismatic Ending is the worst card that's still in my deck here. In I go. I'm going to keep this banger hand. If they go for a turn 1, it can't go through the graveyard. I have 2 pieces of graveyard interaction. Opponent's on 6. All right, let's go. Gotta expect some activity, right? You can't just burn off your opportunity on the play and not do anything. Rite of Flame, Desperate Ritual gets you up to 3. Chrome Mox. Yeah, I don't have a counterspell for this. Yeah, they could just empty for 8 goblins here. Or I guess it's... Yeah, it is 8 goblins. That's actually really good. Yup. Okay. That is the type of thing I expected them to do here. And it's probably going to be good enough. I need to find Batterskull, I guess. I'm going to get Noble Hierarch into play. And I go to 11. Oh no, you drew a card. Burning Wish. What does this do? Gut Shot. That's an instant. Goblin War Strike. Oh my god. Alright, if we had a chance, it's now gone. I need to draw Stoneforge Mystic right now. That's how I can do anything here. Wasteland's not it. Wow. Shreds, you say? I can ponder. Yeah, I'm gonna ponder. Need to find Stoneforge, and I think it's too late to even do that. Second Surgical. Alright. Yeah. This doesn't look good for your hero. Or I can Blue Blast. Oh, wait. LED can now pay for Goblin War Strikes, Flusterstorm. Alright, so Storm is 2. If I Blue Blast a Goblin, Storm is 3. Then they'd have to pay 4, which is the number that they have. Jeez. I was gonna Red Blast or Blue Blast a Goblin and then Fluster the War Strike, but they could even pay for it. Doesn't matter. There's no Engineered Explosives in the deck. There's nothing coming to save me here. Batterskull, I'm a mana short of getting into play even if I rip it. And I am taking the damage. That Goblin War Strike's so messed up. Ah! My life is pain. My life. I can put Endurance into play and die. Okay, GG. Well played. Beat up by another Fast Storm deck, which my sideboard is not really constructed for. On to the next round. We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. On the draw in round 4, I have forced but no blue card, but my hand is pretty good if this is a fair matchup. We're due for one, right? Right? My life is pain. Okay, I can at least Prismatic Ending this thing. Yikes. Can't get a fair matchup to save my life. But if my opponent's going to hang LED out there, I'm going to blast it. Ledger Shredder. Okay. I'm gonna plow Shredder and then wasteland them. This might be needlessly aggressive. This seems like it could be a Saga deck. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. I did pick up blue card though to go with my force. Sappers and Scary. Okay, this is the turbo nonsense deck with the Hull Breacher and everything. Interesting to see Ledger Shredder in that deck. Just gonna get Cauldron and try to blast. Yeah, this is why I like Cauldron in the deck. In the deck, like obviously suiting up Glenn is what we're supposed to be doing, but sometimes you don't draw Glenn. They could go for a emergency Days Undoing just to clear Cauldron, which I think I would let resolve. I would like to draw some extra cards here. So if I force it, I don't know, we'll see. We'll just see what they do. How about that? Before I plan out a whole line that doesn't even happen. I just played out Otawara, which does answer Cauldron. So they must have another answer or think they could do something better. That one I have to fight over. Brainstorm's not really doing anything. Put that in play anyway. I guess I could have just let it resolve, attacked it with Cauldron, and still had force in my hand. Too late now. Let's bash. And I can protect my Germ token with Blossoming Defense if necessary. In we go. My opponent is at a very high life total. Over 20, in fact. The Sappers and Scary only gets one more activation this game. There's nut situations where we just lose here. Like Hull Breacher, LED, Echo does it. Hopefully removing that LED earlier slows that down. Here we go. What's the payout? Another Narset. Disappointing. And I can attack it if I get another turn here. I don't want to see Echo or LED come off this Narset activation. Shit. We're in danger. Let's hope they don't have Echo at all. Well, they're dumping out a bunch of Garbo here. Yeah, somebody's got to draw 7. Echo. Oh, wow. Oh, they didn't have the LED, but they did have the Hull Breacher. I mean, at least Narset's better than Hull Breacher. I'm going to get a Savannah and Blossoming Defense, my Cauldron. I would just like to have that card in play for next turn. And I don't want their draw 7 to change that. I get 1 card off of this. They get 7. I just lose right now. And 3 Lions Eye Diamond decks in a row. Tough crowd today. Lydia's Raiders and pass. Okay, I like Wasteland. I'm gonna waste the city and see what's going on. If they have a Hull Breacher or something, or an Otawara, they have to do it now. Look at that. Not that it really helps, but there we go. They wisely targeted the Cauldron Germ, not the Cauldron itself. I'm a mana short of getting and putting into play sort of Fire and Ice all right now. Another Stoneforge. Force of Will, pitching Force of Will. Okay. I got the point on Narset. If she activates, she's dead. Uh-oh. Punished on my Wasteland use. Prismatic Ending. I should probably just take out Narset with that while I can. Bang. Do I want to slam my Stoneforge Mystic into Hull Breacher? I'm not beating Hull Breacher anyway, so yes. Try to put damage on them in case they don't have it. Cool. Next turn, they could start doing Saga stuff. Sappers and Scary. Oh, I will pass the turn. This construct. I think I should let Saga resolve. If they get Pithing Needle, I would rather they name Stoneforge Mystic than Sword of Fire and Ice. And maybe they just don't get Pithing Needle and maybe they don't care. Maybe they don't have Pithing Needle. I don't know. We'll find out together shortly. Box Opal. Deal. I take 3 from this. In the end step. Not Batterskull, regrettably. That would have been a huge blowout. Not a card I play. Come on, Prismatic Ending or Swords to Plowshares. Wasteland's not bad. Equip and see what happens. Can't Brazen Borrower me. Can still Otawara. Do I even want to use Wasteland? Do I want to save it for the next Saga? If I Wasteland Sappers and Scary, I can at least know if I'm losing my Stoneforge or not. I don't think that matters. Just gonna make my attack. All right, they're letting it connect. I'm gonna put 2 damage on a construct in case I draw an out to the other one. Like 2 damage to their face here, I don't think is a huge deal, but stabilizing this board is a huge deal. Come on, white removal spell. Oh, you're hull breaching my draw trigger? Okay, fair enough. That's also allowed. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. Not dead yet. I'm gonna save Wasteland for a potential saga situation. Uh-oh. Almost dead. This is the... Oh, I am dead. Never mind. All the way dead. Okay. Got me good. Clever use of that hull breacher. This is where I'd board in my collector roof. If I had one. Spell Pierce looks good. Force of Vigor, big. Serenity, big. Bluster Storm, reasonable. Batterskull, I do want to get scrappy with this deck, I think. Endurance can tangle in combat. Do I want to tangle in combat? Probably not. Their only real interaction is Otawara, and they probably have some Brazen Borrowers, so Blossoming Defense looks worse. I don't need to treat this like a Lightning Bolt, Swords of Plowshares matchup. What else is less good here? Teferi's pretty good. I do like Hierarch, even though they're probably a Chalice deck, though they might not be if they're just going for the combo. Sword of Fire and Ice. Like, Otawara still beats it. Saga Token still beat it. Is this something I want access to? Maybe not. I gotta find huts somewhere. I can go to 3 Stoneforge Mystic with 2 weapons to tutor up. And Prismatic Ending is my out to Chalice if they have that, which they probably do. I think Teferi's really good. Swords of Plowshares is good against Hull Breacher, bad against Narset. I like Wasteland a lot. I like Beseiju a lot. Oh, Caracas probably doesn't matter. It's a white source in my deck, but I like the Wastelands, and I think I can't afford to shave a land, and that's the worst one. These decks don't play Urza anymore. On the play, no blue card, but I'm going to keep. I do like jumping out ahead on mana here. I have an answer to Chalice. I can kill a Hull Breacher. Tropical Island and Hierarch. Let's go. Either Spellbomb, sure. It's good against Glenn. I'm going to play my other Hierarch and bash for 2. The backup plan. Bang. Here comes my 2 damage. I have multiple pieces of interaction. I would like a real way to pressure. I would also like to point out that if you want to play Bant Stoneblade, if you literally just replace Glenn with True Name Nemesis, and then your Blossoming Defenses with almost anything, this deck becomes a lot better. But we're here to Glenn. Gonna attack for 2. Can't Hull Breach me this turn. And I guess I'm just passing because nothing came together here. If they go for a Narset, I'll let it resolve. I want to save my forces for emergencies. Prismatic Endings just sort of chilling here. I can point that at on Narset. Ooh, head to Otawara a second time to get mana. Hull Breacher, sure. This one I can kill. Oh yeah, go for it, go for it, go for it. Going for the big splat here. I'm definitely killing the Hull Breacher. Deciding if I'm going to counter the Echo. I guess I should. Towards the Plowshares, your Hull Breacher. And yeah, I'm going to force. What am I even saying? Force your Echo. Let's see if my dummy pile can come up with a threat. Would have been a great time to draw Glenn. Brainstorm. Wasteland and Beseiju. Okay. I'm going to put back... I can put them to 1 permanent right now. If I put back Force of Will and Flooded Strand. Do I care about the permanent they have, though? I think I want to keep Prismatic Ending, and I can hardcast Force next turn. Yeah, I probably just want to slow down here and put Prismatic Ending and Beseiju on top in that order. Play the Wasteland and then attack for 2. They're probably going to have to draw a card with Aether Spellbomb soon, so spending Prismatic Ending on it doesn't seem great. Zappers and Scary, sure. I'm going to draw my Beseiju and probably shuffle away my Prismatic Ending. Their land and ship it. Still hanging on to that spell bomb. They don't want to get hit with a weapon. Plenty of life points to work with. Don't disagree with their play. I'm going to fetch in my upkeep. That way I can fetch without putting Force of Will down, because if I fetch, I'll only have 4 mana during the resolution of the fetch. Spell bomb to draw a card. Okay. They decided it's time, which means it's time for me to go nuts. And by go nuts, I mean draw a spell I could cast. Glenn. Lion's Eye Diamond. Okay. Did they rip Echo? Just like that? 2 cards? Yeah, they did. Powerful spells. Time to Force of Will. Tundra and Savannah. They can probably predict this. There's a reason I didn't wasteland them, and it's because I'm holding a 5-mana spell. Back to Hellbent. Glenn. Ponder, find Glenn. It's time for Glenn. I'll take a Batter Skull, I guess. That works too. Right, this will end the game pretty quickly. Pass a turn. Saving the Boseiju. Oh, they drew something. Ledger Shredder. Okay. Swords of Plowshares is the top card of my deck. Again, remove this Ledger Shredder. Gonna mash for 6. Hold up Plow and Boseiju. My next card is Prismatic Ending. How did they draw Karn? That's like the one card that Wasteland would have encouraged. I'm losing this hand anyway, so I'm gonna Swords to Plowshares their Ledger Shredder. And Besiegeing their land doesn't matter. Sure, fresh hand, let's go. That feels pretty bad when you're already losing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can attack for lethal this turn with Force of Will back up. Or I could pass the turn, leaving them at 1 mana. I'm going to wasteland this Otawara. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm just going to do this in 2 turns. Holding up Force of Will and Flusterstorm in between. Yeah, I like that. We did it. We fended off the echoes, and that's mostly what we got to do. I like Mendelian Click. Why wasn't that in my deck the first time? Should have been in there. And Swords of Plowshares on Hull Breacher, so important, but also like kind of whatever. Maybe I cut Endurance for Click. They only use their graveyard for the one thing, which they don't pass priority when they use. Okay, I like that change. Back in. This hand is pretty bad against a turbo anything. The Wastelands could mess them up if they're on the Saga draw, but I don't like this. This one's much better. I'll keep this and put... I think I have to send Vendilion Click to the bottom. That's the only threat in my hand, but everything else keeps me alive. Saga, cool. I can just poke that before it's a problem. Or I could work my way up to Serenity, and it's not a problem anyway. I think I just like the Wasteland. If I had a Force of Will to back up the Serenity, I'd probably go for that, but I don't want to play chicken with a turn 1 Saga. I got Swords of Plowshares for a Hull Breacher here. Got nothing for a Narset. Nothing for a Karn either. Now I'm good. The Serenity doesn't help here. I'll wait until I see the next Urza Saga to make a move on that. 5 mana here. Narset. I will brainstorm in response, see if I come up with... Or do I not do that? No, I'm just going to force pitching the Ponder. I can brainstorm on my turn. Uh-oh, force me back. Guess I'll brainstorm then. Now or never. Wow, force pitching Echo back. They are in on this Narset to win the game with. Okay. Let's do it. Wonder if their last card in hand is LED and they're just going for the big swing right now. Force of Negation. Okay. I'm gonna play Hierarch and hold back Swords to Plowshares, I think. Yeah, Serenity is not something I need to commit proactively. They could literally just pass the turn and let Serenity die without caring. Laid out Otawara. This looks like a day's undoing. Hate my life. Alright. I get 1 card. Noble Hierarch. Let's attack this Narset. See what happens. Yeah, not having Pyroblast in your deck is a pretty big detriment in today's Legacy. Narset's down to 1. Still alive, though. There's a Saga. An Opal. And a pass of the turn. I like that one. Let's see if I can poke this Narset first. Am I going to get ambushed? Narset is in the graveyard. That doesn't mean they don't have Hull Breacher. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to go for Ponder first, because even if they breach it, it's not a huge deal. It's just 1 treasure. All right, I'm going to put Brainstorm in my hand and then play Stoneforge Mystic. All right, I don't know what's in their hand right now, but I feel like I'm doing stuff. The Narset's clear. Lotus Petal. Uh-oh. Is that just to make Construct bigger? My top card is Swords of Plowshares. That could actually be good. Or no, I just Stoneforged. I don't know my top card anymore. Oh, we're doing something. Narset. I guess I Brainstorm in response. Tundra and cast Brainstorm. Oof. Alright, Cauldron Wasteland in my hand. Here's Narset. If it finds a Days Undoing, it's going to clear the Cauldron. On Lotus Petal. That's not bad. Makes the construct bigger. Also turns on Mox Opal, so that was worth 2 mana. Adding an Ancient Tomb to the board. Disappointing. Okay. See you later, my hand. Huh? Huh? The Saga token arrives as a 4/4. Alright, I guess I'm casting Serenity. This is the one card that could actually pull me back from behind here. They just drew 7 though. They could like Otawara tempo this thing. They could use any of their 8 forces in their deck to tangle with it. Yeah, force. Okay. Pitching Narset. And because they had Ancient Tomb, they don't have to use Lotus Petal to activate the Saga, and I don't have an attack at all here. Okay. I'm convinced. They drew 7 another time. I'm hellbent. Stuffed my 1 way to clear their Saga. 3 Lion's Eye Diamond matchups in a row. Jeez. A few sideboard changes could shore this up, but we don't have it right now. For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop, and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out. On the draw in the final round, gonna have to mulligan this 1-land Wasteland hand. Ooh, 1-land 3-drop hand. Is this where I want to be? Stoneforge and Prismatic Ending are pretty good. Don't even have a green card to pitch to this Endurance. First appearance of Glenn since round 1. I don't think we've even looked at the art on Glenn since round 1. I'm going to mulligan again. This is the first hand again. Come on. Stupid deck. Okay, no room for Force of Will this game. Blossoming Defense can forget about it, and I'll keep 2 lands Endurance, Prismatic Ending. Scalding Tarn, huh? Are we up against Delver on the draw in a Multifor? Oh, a basic mountain. What version of Lion's Eye Diamond is this? Oh, it's Burn. Actual Burn. Stoneforge Mystic is really good against Burn as an archetype. Let's see if we can get one together here. Oh, that's the card I said. Oh, but my Batterskull's in the sideboard. Never mind. Game 1, not a huge help. And Cauldron can race. Well, at least have that. Taking my damage from Riftbolt. Goblin Guide. The Prismatic Ending almost looks good. Alright, Guide. Draw me the land. Undo one of these 3 mulligans. Goblin Guide trigger. Stoneforge Mystic on top of my deck. I'm going to keep that there. They're likely to remove the first one. Or I could shuffle this, deal with the Goblin Guide. Oh wow, they're on 1 land. I actually am going to shuffle away that second Stoneforge and answer the Goblin Guide. That was a great draw. Lets me use all my mana on this turn while accelerating. Take out the Guide. And play a Noble Hierarch. Okay, opponent's got 4 cards in their hand and 1 land. Red mana in the pool. Go Spear, okay. I can put Endurance in front of that next turn. Not going to block with Noble Hierarch. Brainstorm. I could Brainstorm Stoneforge or just Endurance. I think I want an Endurance. Just slam a big body in front of the Swift Spear, clear the board. I can get clever when I'm not taking damage anymore. Chain Lightning my Hierarch, sure. Float green. Hierarch dies. I cannot send it back at Swift Spear. Not going to get that combat ambush I was looking for, but the Swift Spear doesn't get to attack, which is almost as good. I am going to target my opponent with Endurance in case they have like Exquisite Firecraft or Grim Lavamancer. There are red cards that care about your graveyard. Cool. I can Brainstorm and Stoneforge here. Brainstorm. Force of Will. Yeah, okay. I'm going to get rid of Force of Will, keep the Brainstorm, and play Stoneforge. I got to keep an eye on my Price of Progress exposure. Don't have any basics in the deck. Maybe they'll just see the Stoneforge and concede, assuming that I have a Batterskull I can get. My opponent did, in fact, concede and then lose connection to the game. Let's see if we end up in sideboarding or if the match is over. I'm not sure what's going on right now. There was also a 5-minute gap. You'll notice they're at 18 minutes and I'm at 23. All right, I guess they just conceded the match or timed out or something. Okay, we started the league with an extremely exciting Glenn game and then got absolutely pummeled by 3 consecutive Lion's Eye Diamonds matchups. And then we had a Burn player scoop the match on turn 4 of game 1. So weird league, but that's Legacy for you. I think first order of business is get some Collector Roofs in this sideboard. You can even use your Blossoming Defense to protect them, and you get a little synergy there. I think I want 2 of those. That just seems like a good card. And what's getting cut here? I mean, sort of Fire and Ice is anti-synergistic with Collector Roof, but you're not doing a lot of activating with Cauldra, and you're only activating Batterskull if things are going weird. And if you have Collector Roof in play against a deck that cares about it, then you're probably doing okay. Maybe Spell Pierce is worse than Flusterstorm in a sideboard, though Spell Pierce did hit Defense Grid where Flusterstorm wouldn't. Wondering if Spell Pierce should just be in the main. Yeah, what if we just drop the curve and increase the blue count? If I cut Endurance, they're still in the sideboard, don't worry about it. 21 did feel like mostly a good number of lands. I think cutting a Glen is honestly probably right. We have Stoneforge, Hierarch. And this deck is pretty reliant on Glen doing stuff. There's not a lot of threats here, especially now that I cut the Endurance. And it's probably Teferi if it's not Glen, and get another Spell Pierce in. This ups the blue count, which we were also hurting for a little bit, and it's another 1-mana way to protect Glen. With a bunch of Spell Pierces in the main, Flusterstorm is less important in the sideboard. And I probably want to go down to 1 Savannah and then up Tropical Island, just more blue sources. And that already looks better. Like I said in one of the matches, if you're interested in Bant Stoneblade without specifically doing Glen stuff, cut the Glens for True Name Nemesis, cut the Blossoming Defenses for like, you know, whatever, some real legacy card, and this deck already goes supercharged. But as far as a Glen, leaning into the Glen plan goes, I think this looks pretty good. You could fiddle with the number of removal spells, like go 3 and 3 on Plow and Ending, and hit some more cards in here like a Teferi or some other way to win the game. Our main win con, getting blanked by Caracas, is annoying, but we do have 5 answers to a Caracas in the main deck. I think that's fine. And then Stoneforge Mystic is pretty good at winning a game as well. And the next step after this, like we just trimmed down. I tried to play like mid-range tempo, and this is kind of like closer to like Noble Fish. If you want to go extra slim, you lose all the green and you're just the blue-white deck I talked about with Stifle and Daze. And I think I like Noble Hierarch enough. I'm going to leave this one here. Sorry we didn't get a whole lot of interesting games out of this league, but we did do the thing once and technically put up a 2-3 record. Not a bad first outing, and we learned some important lessons. I do like the Stoneforge aspect of the deck, but you could get rid of that too. Like you could cut those 6 cards, bring your Endurances back, and lean more into Glen, but I think Stoneforge Mystic is like the perfect kind of thing that both tests their removal, because if they have removal, they'll point it at Stoneforge on the way up to Glen. Like a must answer 2-drop followed by a must answer 3-drop is a nice way to test your opponent. And it has synergy with Glen because you put an equipment on it and you draw a bunch of cards. Yeah, I'm into that. It makes sense to me. I'm going to leave this one here. CC Ant-Man, thank you for the challenge. I hope this got you closer to a list you're happy with. Everybody else, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon and all the stuff in the video description that helps out the channel. As always, I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time.